Welcome to That 30 Show, a podcast where we talk about the good, the bad, and the surprising parts of our 30s. I'm G, and I'm finally 30. I'm excited to find out if 30 really is the new 20, because if it is, then the best years are yet to come.
And I'm David. I'm entering my mid-30s. I used to have no back pain or trouble sleeping, but now I live off a healthy diet of self-help books and dream of being in bed by 10 p.m. every night. Join us each week as we try to figure out together what life in your 30s is all about. Welcome back to That 30 Show. And guys, I'm so excited this week because I'm talking to, should I say my favorite cousin, Callan? I'm talking to my favorite cousin, Callan Parker, in her room. Callan, thanks so much for joining me today for this conversation. And I think happy birthday, because this is your birthday month, October.
Yeah.
When was your birthday?
That was October 13.
And you turned
30.
30, the big 30.
Yeah, 30.
Welcome to the 30s club, Callan.
Yeah.
You had a birthday party. I saw you at your birthday party. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. It was my birthday, and so we went to Cactus Club from lunch, the birthday morning.
Yeah.
And
what did you eat at Cactus Club? Do you remember?
I had the teriyaki chicken rice bowl.
Teriyaki chicken rice bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that one. And then what happened after lunch?
And after that, I had a cheesecake.
A cheesecake?
Yeah, not just any cheesecake. It's a New York cheesecake.
A New York cheesecake. Is that your favorite type of cheesecake?
Yes.
Do you like strawberry on top? What kind of toppings do you like?
Mostly strawberries, raspberries.
Raspberries?
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of strawberries, mainly because my brother, he has an allergic reaction of strawberries, so I stay clear of that.
So you don't want to tempt fates. Just stay clear of the strawberries in case your brother gets an allergic reaction. I forgot about that. Yeah, he does have that. So I guess as a family, you guys don't usually eat strawberries that often. Yeah, thank you again for coming on. I know that this is a big year for you, a big turning point. I mean, and you were the one who reached out and expressed interest to come and talk to me and talk to about turning 30, being on the show, because it's a big turning point, I think, in life for you. And we'll get to all of that. I think you've mentioned that it's something that you might feel a little bit. It's like kind of a bit of a scary milestone, right? Like 30 and what that all feels like. But I guess before we get into maybe the reasons why you might find this life milestone a little bit scary and all that, let's just give our audience a bit more of a sense of who you are. I know that, Callan, you love, when I think about you and my experience with you, I think the thing that comes to my mind the most is that you always bring so much joy to every room and every conversation. There's so many things that make you light up and laugh. You have an infectious smile, and there's so many things that you love, right? Some of the things that I think you really love and make you happy is you're a big dancer, right? You love dance. You love reading and writing. I think you play soccer sometimes.
Yes.
Tell us about what are some other things that makes you really happy these days?
What makes me really happy? Well, wow, that's a really big concept word. I guess what makes me happy is my family.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, and mainly because family is really important to me. Not because I have a disability, but they see me as more than that.
Yeah.
They see me as a person.
Yeah,
and that really fills my heart of joy and love.
Oh, that's so, Callan, I was thinking about this conversation and why I am so genuine and sincerely excited to talk to you is because hopefully you agree with me that I also see you as your own amazing, beautiful person, Callan, right? I've known you ever since you were born. And as you mentioned, you do have a disability, but that's not everything, right? That's only a part of your life. That's a big part of your life experience, but there's all these other things that make you who you are. And I see that. And I want everyone else listening who may or may not know someone with a disability to also understand and see those people for who they are as their own complete and whole person. And so hopefully not just your family, but your cousins, maybe your aunts and uncles and your friends have given you that love and support as well. Well, what are some of the favorite things that you do with your family on a weekend or over the holidays? Or I've been to many family crazy dinner parties over the years, but what are some of the favorite activities or memories you have with your mom and dad and your brother?
I guess that would be celebrating birthdays, anniversary with my parents.
Your parents' anniversary?
Yes.
Oh, that's so cute. How many years now have they been married? Do you know?
Wow, I'm not sure.
You're not sure, but
actually,
you lose track. They've been together for so long.
Yeah.
And what do you have a favorite? Like, I've been to so many like Christmas parties and Thanksgiving dinners and birthday parties. Like, do you have a favorite festival that you like to celebrate?
Yeah. One of my favorite festivals is the Chinese New Year festival.
Chinese New Year?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's actually talk about that. You come from a multi-ethnic background.
Yes.
Right? So what are some of the cultural influences? So Chinese, but what else?
I'm also part Irish.
Part Irish?
Yeah, and we celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Okay. Interesting.
But it's really big in Ireland, because I have my family over there.
Have you been to Ireland?
I have.
You have been to? That's so cool. I've never been to Ireland. What did you like about Ireland?
I like about it because again, it's so small, but the family over there is really big, and that's what is important to me, because
it's the family thing.
Family, and it's not about bigger size. It's just how I have so much love in my life.
Yeah, you do. I'm so happy that you feel that. That's so sweet. When was the last time you went to Ireland? Have you been more than once?
I have.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think the last time I went there was, it was my birthday, and
You did a birthday trip to Ireland.
Yeah. Well, before that, we went to London to celebrate my birthday, and then after that, we went to Ireland.
Yeah.
And because I have a strong connection there, there's a small town in Ireland, and they named it Callan.
Right. I was thinking, I know you have a photo next to a sign that says Callan. I was like, oh, is that in Ireland?
Yes.
So that's how do you spell that? Is this?
It's a bit complicated because
did they spell it the same way your name is spelled?
Yes, it has the same spelling as me, but because there's so many versions of Callan, it would be Karen, Helen, Alan.
Yeah.
So
yeah, actually now I think about it, you have a very obviously a very pretty, but also a very unique name. I don't know any other Callans.
Yeah.
At least not the way that you're spelled, which is Callan, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure you know more than one David.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's much less of a special name. Okay. So your family makes you happy.
Yes, definitely.
And you like your favorite festival is Chinese New Year. What happens on Chinese New Year for you guys?
We celebrate.
Do you guys eat anything in particular?
Yeah, I like Chinese food.
Yeah.
Particularly the first day, and that's my favorite day actually, which is the vegetarian day.
There's a vegetarian day?
Yes, and mainly because my dad is a vegetarian.
Your dad is a vegetarian? Okay. So you like that because it's like an early Christmas for him because everyone eats vegetarian.
Exactly, yeah. It's kind of like both Chinese New Year and Christmas morning. Yeah.
That's so funny. And do you guys get up, like what activities do you do on Chinese New Year? I think your family has a tradition of playing some games on Chinese New Year.
We played Mahjong.
You play Mahjong?
Yeah, more like a gambling game, but
gambling.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's fun, right? You want to like I think for Chinese people, at least on Chinese New Year, there's often a tradition of trying to create luck for the coming year or seeing whether you're lucky or not. I think in the end, what's fun is just spending that quality time with your uncles, your aunties, your cousins, and having that loving and fun environment, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Is there anything else? I mean, of course there is more, but like, what's one other thing that comes to mind that makes you the happiest? Something that you do, something that you like to eat, something that you like to watch or listen to?
Well, currently I'm listening to this podcast.
You're listening to this podcast?
Yeah, on my phone. And by hearing my cousin's voice, it really is special.
Aw. That's so sweet.
Yeah, and not just that, but I get to hear a lot of people that he interviewed, and that makes me really proud of my cousin.
Oh, wow. And your cousin is, just to clarify, that's me, right? You're
Yes.
talking about. That is, Callan, there's a reason why I think we all know that you're one of the sweetest people that anyone knows. So thank you. Just for the audience, I did not bribe her to say that. But I think music is a big part of your life,
Oh,
right?
yeah, definitely.
Do you have a favorite artist or musician or singer?
Well, currently I'm working on my solo self, which is my favorite celebrity, which is me.
Yo, that's amazing. Wait, so before we started recording, you talked to me a bit about you working on a song, right? Tell me more about that.
Yes, it's actually thanks to my cousin again, because he got me this amazing book, and I thought, well, why not? And I thought, I have a song that's called Awakening the Beast.
Awakening the Beast.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's about my spiritual self. There's a lot of beast in ourselves, and I thought, well, why not silence that and bring that voice out? And so that's what I'm doing.
Wow. So you're writing some lyrics for this song inspired by the book that I got you?
Yes.
Oh, that's again, I did not know that Callan would be talking about all this, but thank you for being so kind, Callan.
Sorry, I overstepped you.
No, you didn't at all. It's just, I think the audience is probably thinking, wow, David, how did you get Callan to say all these nice things about you? But no, it was your birthday recently, and I wasn't, I wanted to get you something that was sort of more significant and timely for your 30th birthday. Sometimes we'll get you, actually I should have mentioned this earlier, Callan's a huge fashionista, right? She's a fashion queen. So she loves, dressing up and having nice accessories. And so oftentimes we'll give Callan, in past years, like jewelry or like fashion accessories. But I think we all know, Callan, your closet is not lacking for things. And so this year I was like thinking, and I ended up getting you, I think it's a book called The Pivot Year. And every page, there's a short paragraph of some message that is hopefully inspiring or motivating for someone who wants to make a lot of change in this coming year and to reflect on themselves. And I'm hoping that, maybe some of these paragraphs that you read, Callan, will inspire you or motivate you to continue being the best version of yourself that you can be.
Yeah, I really love it, mainly because it's a big milestone year for me.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a pie in the scheme, pie in a cloud throughly. It's not like I went out to get a beer kind of throughly. It's more like this is a big milestone year.
Yeah, it's a big milestone year. I think for anyone turning 30, I know even when my friends turn 30 in the past few years, they always have big birthday parties because it's like the big 3-0, as you said, right? But let's talk a bit more about that milestone then and what it means to you, because leading up to it, Callan, you were texting me here and there and telling me about how it's, I think you mentioned the word, you might have used the word scary, or you might have used the word like, it's significant, it's a big deal. But I'm so curious actually to ask you, I don't know why. And one of the main questions I want to ask you today, Callan, is what is scary about turning 30 and why is that scary for you?
I guess because I'm at the transition of, again, I'm not just a small kid anymore. I'm a really...
You're an adult.
I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what scary is, because at the same time, I'm not 1 year old anymore. I'm not just a baby anymore. It's not like that picture of me and you. It's not like that kind of young.
Yeah.
It's more like I am anxious, but I'm excited because, again, it's a whole new chapter of my life. And by looking at my life right now, it's amazing, wonderful, scary, and by turning 30, and I am 30, makes me want to scream out loud. And not like I'm scared kind of way. It's just more like I'm excited, nervous, in the middle.
Yeah, it's a whole jumble of emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what you're saying there is that you're not, you can see that, and especially when you see photos of yourself when you're younger, you're looking at that person, you're like, hey, I'm not a baby anymore. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm 30. I'm an adult. And that's exciting, right? As you said, but it's also kind of anxious because I guess maybe the next question is, well, what does it mean to be an adult? Because hopefully we all stay sort of kids at heart, right? That we stay playful and happy as we grow up. But what do you think that means to you? What do you think it means to be an adult then? What changes? Does anything change for you?
Yeah, it's again, it's a milestone. My godfather, Rob, he known me since I was 0. And by looking at that, it makes me wonder of what am I doing with my life?
Oh, that's a big question.
Yeah,
what am I doing with my life?
Now that I don't have a paid job.
Okay.
And that makes me really nervous now that I'm 30.
Yeah.
Because I had a job and now it's at Starbucks and I thought, yeah, I could do that. But at the same time, I'm afraid of what will happen to me again in the future.
So you had a job a paid job at Starbucks, and I think maybe we can get into it later, but it's not a part of your routine anymore. And you're asking yourself, what am I doing with my life? Well, Callan, I can assure you, we are all asking ourselves the same question. And it doesn't matter whether you are, a celebrity or not, just whether you have, any significant challenges or a disability or not. Everyone is always asking ourselves, what am I doing? Or sort of where am I going? So you're definitely not alone in thinking and asking yourself those questions. But do you have some, not answers, but do you have some ideas, I guess, to that question? Do you have some, I'm curious if there are things that you want to do. I mean, you've been doing amazing things over the years, Callan, right? As you know, you've self-written an entire book, right?
Yes.
And there's a lot of things you've done. You've competed on this soccer team. Maybe you can talk more about that if you want, but it's not like you haven't done anything with your life. But certainly when you turn 30, it's an opportunity for you to ask yourself, okay, well, I've done all these great things, but what else do I want to do with my life? So what else do you want to do with life? Have you thought about that a little bit, or do you have any ideas?
Yeah, at some point in the near future, I would be I don't want to say normal, but I have to say normal, mainly because at the same time I do have a disability, but that's more like I want to be my cousin or my family, and they see me as a person, but that makes me wonder if I am a person, even though I have a disability. And that really frightens me.
Yeah. So let me see if I understand. So I think what I'm hearing is that you want to try and live a life that goes beyond your disability.
Yes.
Right? You can start creating a life that looks more, as you said, normal, or at least maybe more common.
Yes.
Normal is, as you alluded to, not necessarily the best word for that, but more common, more familiar, as what a lot of other people do. And I was thinking that that's probably something you're going to mention today, Callan, which is that it's not just you. We all compare ourselves to to other people.
Right. Yeah.
Like we all do that, right? It's like, oh, this friend, they're doing this, they have this, or this person, they're doing this and they have that, and I don't, or whatever. But I'm guessing that it's probably even harder for you. I don't want to put words into your mouth, but tell me about that, because I imagine it's not easy for you to have the disability and see other people's lives versus your own.
Yeah, that's again, that's really big in my community, mainly because there is two actors in that particular community, and that is the Peanut Butter Falcon actor and the other one who's in Irish Goodbye.
Wait, can I just pause?
Please.
What are you saying? The peanut butter actor?
And the Peanut Butter Falcon.
The Peanut Butter Falcon. What is that?
It's about a Down syndrome boy.
Okay.
In that film. Yeah, I'm not the one that's watching it. My mom is.
So you mean there are two actors
yes.
in the Down syndrome community?
Yes.
And when you say actors, you literally mean actors in films or TV shows?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So one of these Down syndrome actors is called the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yes.
And the other one is
the Irish Goodbye.
The Irish Goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Continue. So what about them?
I'm proud of that because it's a chance to actually give us a voice.
Right.
And I'm really proud of that because mainly because we are hiding our shame, and
you're hiding your shame?
Yeah, and
okay.
That's not what we want. We want to feel more important to the people that we love.
Yeah, you want to feel seen.
Yeah, and by looking at my family or like my cousins, they would be proud of me, mainly because I have a disability, and that to me is really important.
Okay, yeah. So it sounds like it's really inspiring and positive that you have these more prominent voices like the Peanut Butter Falcon and whatnot. These people who come from a Down syndrome disability background but have a more public image, and so it sort of creates more of a voice for your community in the public. Is that sort of what you're saying there?
Yes, and I did
representation.
Yes, and I did a film called When Time Got Louder. You
did a film called When Time Got Louder?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, it's about this autism kid who has no idea what's in front of him and his life is like. And I was just like a mindless little old kind of person with a strap on her wrist, and it's more about that, and it's about the the gay community.
Okay.
And that's more like a part of the autism spectrum, and that, so it makes sense to go with both. So
the film, so what's it called again?
When Time Got Louder.
When Time Got Louder. So if I hear you correctly, this is a film that includes a character story about someone on the autism spectrum.
Yes.
But it also involves themes of people who are gay. Is that what you said?
Yes.
So there's a lot of sort of intersections here.
Yes.
And what do you mean when you say you worked on this film? Like, what was how were you involved?
I was this is way before COVID ever came into our lives.
I don't remember what that life looks like.
Yeah.
A time before COVID. Tell me more.
Yeah.
I forget. Anyways, yeah. So this was a while ago.
This was a while ago, and it's a chance for me to really see myself through that person's eyes, and I thought, wow, that's really interesting because we live in the Down syndrome community and the autism spectrum, and we share that same kind of bond.
Right. So do you know? I guess you worked with or you met someone during working on this film that is from the autism community. you're saying that there's a bit of a bond between your community with Down syndrome and autism spectrum.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, I have a friend who has autism.
Okay.
And he really is like a ball of lightning.
A ball of lightning?
Yeah, he really is amazing. And actually, because of his mother, we came up with this party, and that party is the gala. And
you came up with a what? Sorry.
This party was the gala, and he didn't go to his own prom.
Oh.
And so the mother thought, well, why not make a party out of it? So she did, and that party turned out to be the gala. And because there's so many people with disabilities and autism come together and just party, so we're doing it a lot.
So was this party is this party related to the film?
Not really.
Oh, okay. So this is just a separate experience you have with the autism community.
Yes.
So let's dive deeper a little bit into the disability part, because you've mentioned it a few times.
Right. Yes.
But we haven't sort of formally touched upon that. And I think I feel very lucky, I think, to have known you all your life, because it gave me appreciation and just open-mindedness, right, to folks with disability, to have someone that is so close to me living through that. And so I feel very lucky to have known you. But again, that's not, I don't want to always keep saying this, but I recognize and acknowledge it doesn't define who you are, but it is obviously a big piece of your life experience. So tell me more. So you have Down syndrome.
Yes.
And for people who are less familiar with that, I guess, what can you share about your community, or the challenges that you face, or the life experience that you have that might be different to other people?
My challenge is, dare I quote, normal people, because they are the ones that don't want us to see who we really are, and that to me is really annoying, because we're likable, right?
You're super likable, Callan.
yeah. Like, my family is really friendly, and that side of thing makes me really proud of me as a disability,
right.
Because again, I don't want to wear a mask on my face to prove to the people that I love.
Yeah.
And to me, that's really important, because aren't we all different?
Yeah. No, and that's a great point, Callan. We are all different in our own way, right? And sometimes it's more obvious how we're different, and sometimes it's less obvious, but we're all unique individuals. And so I think what you're saying there is, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the challenges is not so much challenge that you face coming from yourself, but it's actually just more of a challenge of how other people interact with you, how other people who may be less familiar or empathetic make you feel like you're not your own person. Is that right?
Definitely.
Oh, that's yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Callan. I'm not surprised, I guess, because usually people are not as kind to people or experiences that they're unfamiliar with. Yeah, I can see how that definitely makes you feel less seen or less accepted or loved. What's something that you would love to see other people, whether you know them, strangers or new friends, what can other people, or what can we do to help you with that challenge, to make you feel, the way that your family makes you feel?
Yeah, I think it's first who we are as a person, but also with a disability.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets me to my other point, which is, don't close the door on our faces other than say bad stuff behind our backs, because
right.
Again, I'm lovable. I'm all about my family that really loves me, and that's really important.
Uh-huh.
And they open the door to me as a disability, and
right.
that's what I love about my family.
Yeah.
Because they understand me. They understand me a lot. And by speaking to my cousin, he knows me all my life, and that makes me really happy.
Callan's referring to me. I don't know why you keep referring to me in the third person, Callan. I'm sitting right here. It's okay. I'm just teasing you. It's fine. So I think what you're saying there is that it would be so much. It was very nice if people that you meet, new friends, acquaintances, if they see you as a person like anyone else first, and then someone with a disability second, rather than just seeing, be like, oh, this is a Down syndrome person. Let me treat them differently right from the start, or let me draw some unfair or, dare I say, ignorant sort of assumptions or conclusions before I even have a chance to talk to you as a person.
Exactly, and that's what makes me nervous mainly, because it feels like we're not feeling appreciated in this modern world. And I thought, well, that sucks, because we have so much to offer the world. We have so much love in our life, our family, our friends, our people that we may not normally know of, but
I will give you, not I will, but that's definitely something I want to give you a huge amount of credit for, Callan, is that your heart is full of so much love and generosity and kindness, more than most people I've met in my life. And I think that's what you're alluding to, is that, there's a lot that you offer, and you have a lot to offer to me as a cousin, to your family members. And I think what you want to tell the world is you have a lot to offer to the world too, if people give you a chance.
Exactly. Like, because I had lost my job, nobody ever sees me as a girl who has Down syndrome.
Right.
They see me as being helpless and ignorant or whatever. It's more like, wow, that girl is different. That girl is more like, hey, I'm gonna hang out at my place sort of thing. And I was like, first of all, take a step back, because I don't know you.
Yeah, fair enough. And that's actually something, that's sort of why I started talking and asking, like, oh, Callan, like, tell us about the things that make you happy. And I also asked, like, what are you scared about turning 30? Because these sort of thoughts and emotions, your dreams, your fears, everyone has them. You have them. Just because you have Down syndrome doesn't mean you don't have dreams and goals and hopes and fears and all that, just like everyone else. And I think what might help other people understand you and your community better is through this conversation, and by learning about the things that you do in your life. It's like, you're not just your accomplishments, but certainly the things that you've done help me or help others appreciate, oh, okay, she can do things, and she has done a lot of things. So while we're on the topic of that, I'm sort of putting you on the spot here, because you've done so many.
That's fine. I am literally on the spot.
You're literally on the spot. Like, you've done so many amazing things and things that you're passionate about and that you love. But can you share a few more things that you're proud of, or that any experiences or activities that you really enjoyed in the past, 5 or 10 years? What have you been involved with? I know you wrote the book that you wrote was a huge part of your life.
Oh yeah, wow. The novel that I did is mainly about the high glamour world of Melody Noble and her fiance now, who is a husband now. And so again, it's all about the glamour of how she is facing in her life is about to change completely. And I come to realize that that's exactly who I am. Not as a model or a singer or dancer or whatever. It's mainly about I'm enriching my life full of my family that is not as rich as money, but they are lovely. And that's what I see in my family, because they enrich me, and I'm excited to be a part of that family, and I'm rich with happiness because of that.
You're rich with happiness. I love that, Callan. So it sounds like you in writing the book, you're talking about the character that you wrote, right? What's her name again?
Melody Noble.
Melody Noble.
Yes.
So this character that you wrote, as you're writing the story, you started seeing some of yourself in her,
Yes.
and how her life is enriched by certain things, and how in your life you're enriched by your family's love.
Yes.
Can you? How was the experience? Because actually one of the things that's on my bucket list that I should take inspiration from you on is I've always wanted to write a book myself. I think you and I we both love reading.
Oh,
right?
definitely.
Growing up, your parents always gave my sister and I Chapters gift cards as presents, because we're a whole sort of family of nerds, but it's hard to write a book because it takes a lot of perseverance. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of dedication and focus. How was that experience for you? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? Did you learn anything from that?
Yeah, I guess because ever since I lost my shop at Starbucks, I had nothing to do. So, and mainly,
you had more time.
And mainly because my mom, well, your aunt, sorry, I had to go there. She came up with this amazing idea of online calls. And I thought, well, why not? Because I literally have nothing to do. And so, thanks to her, I began my writing career. And it starts from day one to end up with like a full page of non-stop writing and non-stop typing and it's just...
So it sounds like once you got started, it was a perfect opportunity. It was something you enjoyed doing a lot. Was it easy? Like, it sounds like you wrote a lot.
Yeah, I wrote a lot. 160, I think, pages.
160 pages?
Yeah.
That's 160 more pages than I've ever written. So good job, Callan.
Yeah.
You mentioned a few times, I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about there, but you mentioned a few times how you used to work at Starbucks. You mentioned how you don't have that job anymore. How was that experience working at Starbucks? Because I think it's more of a unique, compared to a lot of other things you might have done in your life, it's probably one of the more public and visible and independent experiences that you've done.
Yeah.
Was it challenging? Were people nice? How was that?
When I worked at Starbucks, they saw me as a disability person, and I thought, well, to me, that's kind of not fair because I work extremely hard from then on, and I just brought a smile to Starbucks, and that's me, right?
Yeah, you brought smiles to the customers.
Yeah. I opened the doors, I maintained the tables, the coffee stations, the cream and milk station, and that's what I do. I sweep, I mop,
Yeah. And you're very good at that.
Yeah.
The cleaning part. I know you've enjoyed doing that most of your life, helping out around the house with your parents and stuff. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that that's how you felt. If I heard you correctly, it sounds like you felt that people saw you, again, first and foremost, as a disability person. And that was like the first filter that they had in approaching who you are. And so that doesn't feel very good.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And did you go every day, or was it what was the commitment there?
I worked on Thursday and Friday.
On Thursday and Friday, yeah.
Like because Monday is the long day of business days, and so the 2 days that I worked there is Thursday and Friday.
Okay, and so having this regular paid job commitment, something that a lot of people do, is that something that you enjoyed?
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah, I love it.
What did you love about it?
I love about it because of the community, the people, the customers, and now that COVID is really taking effect on people, it has a big effect on me.
Okay.
Mainly because I've lost my job and they closed Starbucks forever. It makes me wonder if I can go out there again.
Yeah.
And find a
so
job.
It sounds like you lost the job because of COVID.
Yes, and mainly because of my knee.
Oh
also.
yeah, that was a significant life challenge that happened to you. Your knee. Do you want to tell listeners a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, in a way, I'm kind of like Harry Potter, but on my knee.
Oh, because you have a scar?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And it's not every day I have a scar, so... But yeah, it was mid-February when it happened, and I was wearing... Stupid me, I was wearing a high heel and a dress, and I was about to go upstairs when suddenly face plant.
You face planted?
Yeah,
Okay.
like my dad always taught me to catch myself with both my hands, so I did. Next thing I knew, I was on my back, and next thing I knew, I bumped my knee really hard on the outside closet.
Okay.
I bumped it and I fell face down.
Oh, no.
It's not face down, but like face planted down.
Yeah.
And my knee was seriously in pain. I was screaming, I was crying, and the worst part was it was family day.
Oh no.
And we went out for a walk and played soccer or whatever. We came back. Next thing I knew, that kind of happened, and then splot. I was on the floor. My dad, my mom, and my brother was upstairs watching one of my mom's films.
So they're all at home.
They're all at home upstairs watching something, and upstairs, my dad said, "What was that?" And he came down, my brother and my mother in tow, and they saw me splot out, and I was crying like a maniac.
So your father was the first on the scene.
Yes.
Quickly followed by your mom and your brother.
Yes, and they saw me, and they said, "Oh my God, Aiden, dial 911." So he did.
Oh no.
Next thing I knew, the paramedics came. My mom and my brother would open the door, and
they brought the stretcher in?
They brought the stretcher out and loaded me on the stretcher. First time, may I add.
The first time you've been on a stretcher?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
that's good.
And they wheeled me. It was dark. And they wheeled me outside in the ambulance at the back. And
so you remember everything like it was yesterday. It sounds like you remember the details. Like you didn't forget.
I didn't forget anything, because that's the one thing that my dad loves about me, is because I have a photo.
You have a very good memory.
Yes, I have a very good memory. So they took me to the hospital, and because I was working, my manager called me and said, "Callan, are you coming to work?"
Yeah.
And I said, "No, I can't."
Yeah, this is the Starbucks manager. He's like, "Are you coming to work?" And you're like, something might have happened to my knee."
Yeah.
So what exactly happened? Was it dislocated or what happened?
It was like
what was the actual injury
called? The actual injury was because I banged my knee really hard. It literally had like a bump on my knee. It's more like from my experience, there was a knee growing an actual knee.
A knee growing in an actual knee.
Yes.
Like there was a lot going on there. It was not normal.
No.
And you ended up having surgery for that too.
I did, and I was in surgery for like over a month.
That's amazing that you went through that and that you overcame that. I've never had to go through surgery or go to the hospital like that, Callan. So you've overcome greater challenges than many of us have. You're all okay now?
I'm all okay.
Are you dancing again?
I'm dancing. I'm singing. I'm happy again. But mainly, we went to Japan, and it was really hard by walking a lot, and by walking all those hills. It takes time to catch my breath, but again, because there's a metal, like a metal thing in my...
There's a metal piece in your knee?
A metal piece in my knee.
Oh, wow.
And my worry was, because we had to go to the airport, they had that metal, like that body scan.
Oh, yeah. They're going to think you have something on you.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know what to do. Are they going to tear me apart?
Yeah. So what happened? Did it beep?
Luckily, they had like that body.
The body scan, the full body scan.
Yeah, and so
they
that
saw.
went well.
Yeah.
And so I went through, and that kind of saved me from my mental self.
Yeah. That's so funny. Well, I'm glad you're okay now, Callan. I'm sorry that happened. It makes for a good story now, obviously, but it was definitely very scary. And I remember visiting you at the hospital. Was it after your surgery or before your surgery?
It was after.
After your surgery.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking of, big life difficulties or challenges, I guess going back to turning 30, what do you think are some of the things that are going to be, like, what are some of the biggest challenges or, I don't know, fears? I don't want to say it too negatively, but thinking about the coming years, like, what's something that you think is going to be hard? What's hard about being an adult, I guess?
Wow. Well, I guess the challenges of shrinking.
The challenges of what, sorry?
Shrinking.
Of shrinking?
Of shrinking, like those shrinks that I've been...
Drinking?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, the challenges of drinking.
Yes,
Okay.
and that...
What do you mean?
And I don't know why I said that, mainly because...
Do you mean drinking alcohol?
Yes, mainly because I'm at that age of shrinking.
Okay.
But I have to be careful of what I'm drinking.
Okay. We all have to be careful of what we're drinking, Callan.
Yeah. I would sometimes drink wine now and then.
Yeah.
There's a cafe near our place, and every Halloween I go there and have a glass of white wine.
Okay. That's a nice tradition.
Yeah.
Do you think you should be doing that more because a lot of other people are doing it? Or is it just something that you do like doing, but you have to be careful of how it affects you?
Yeah, mainly because for disability people like me, I have to be very cautious of what I'm drinking.
Okay. So you do enjoy it, but because of your disability, you have to be extra careful about what you're drinking, how much you're drinking. Okay, so that's a challenge. What else? I guess on the other side, now that you're 30, do you have any, like, have you thought about, this is a big question, so if you can't think of it right now, that's fine, but do you have any hopes, any like goals, any wishes, things that you want to see happen for you in your life, things that you want to achieve or to grow or learn? Like what do you hope in the ideal world? What does the next 10 years look like for you? Have you thought about that at all?
Yeah. In 10 years from now, I would feel more accomplished than what other people would think of me.
Okay.
And I think that is really important because it's hard to come by, but mainly because it's again, it's a big milestone, and being a 30 kind of I guess rocks. Really is exciting, but I'm living my life.
So you mentioned accomplishments or how other people see you. So do you have an idea of what accomplishments you want to do? Like, because I think what matters more, Callan, is how you see yourself and how, like, one of my podcast partner, G, who you might know because you've listened to some of our podcasts, one of her favorite quotes, as she's mentioned before, is those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. It's a Dr. Seuss quote,
Right.
Which means that those who have a problem with things or have judgments, they're not important. They don't matter. And those people who do matter, they're not going to mind. They're going to accept you and love you and support you. So putting aside what other people think, because these other people, especially if they don't really know you, I would argue their opinion is not that important. They don't know you, right, Callan?
Right.
So for yourself and for your family, like what is something that you, for yourself, want to accomplish?
But by looking back at that novel that I did, that's a big accomplishment.
That is a big accomplishment.
And mainly because I've been doing that for quite some time. And I had a deadline, and that deadline is at Christmas Eve. Not Christmas Eve, but like Christmas Day,
Christmas
midnight.
Day. Yeah, midnight, yeah.
And that right there is a big accomplishment. And my whole family loves it. We actually have it on my phone, well, on my old phone, and my dad's phone upstairs, and it's an ebook.
Yeah.
And
wow.
yeah,
That is a huge accomplishment. I'm curious. Are there other things that you want to do that interest you? Are there other passions that you want to pursue, or things that you want to learn, or things in your life that you want to change?
I do want to learn more of being a person.
What does that mean?
Like, what I mean is, I want to learn being normal than just having a disability.
Okay. So you want to learn how to live a life that's more similar to the people around you.
Exactly.
Well, what are some of the gaps you think that separate you from that more quote unquote normal life?
I think that just because I have a disability doesn't mean that I'm normal, right?
Yeah.
And because my family is normal, they treat me as normal because I was born into a family that is happy, that is loving, and that's what I'm excited to be a part of, that family, because they respect me a lot, and that's the one thing that I love about me as a disability, because they treat me right, and that's what I love about this family.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you have people in your life, Callan, that make you feel like that, because I think everyone deserves to feel like that, especially someone from your community with the Down syndrome disability that often don't get that respect or don't get that love. I think I'm in terms of trying to live a more adult life or whatever, honestly, this is what this show is all about, because we talk to people to learn how to become better at living, like how to do our chores better, how to make more money, how to manage our time better. I think that's things that we all struggle with in our own ways. And so you're definitely not alone in wanting to learn how to live a more normal life. I think, we're all struggling to know how to do it all. So now that you're 30, I know that when you said you were approaching 30, it was something that you felt maybe a little bit scared about. Now that you've turned 30, your birthday party was a couple weeks ago. Does it feel different? Is it not as scary as it maybe seems? Like, it's not, you're still Callan, right?
Yeah, I'm still me, even though I'm an adult, but now that I'm 30, I literally joined the 30 gang.
You joined the 30s gang. Congratulations. It's not all it's cut out to be. It's just life. It's not that interesting. But I was there anything, what else did you want to bring to the conversation when I know you said you wanted to come on the show, talk about turning 30. I'm sure we've talked about a lot of the things, and I love all the stories and the messages that you shared so far. Was there anything else that you wanted to bring up or talk about or ask me or share by coming to talk to me on the show today?
Yeah, I'm not just any normal person.
Mm-hmm.
I like fashion, I like singing, I like whatever I'm doing. And I guess now that I'm 30, what I'm doing is amazing. But at the same time, I'm scared of what that is like.
I think it's just this general like unknown, right? Like you like life, you like dancing, you like singing, you like writing a novel, and that's fine. I think that's comfortable and that's happy. You have a loving family, you have your Chinese New Year. But what it sounds like is that it's just generally speaking, just thinking about like, wow, like what's going to happen next? Like what is life going to bring? And that's, and not knowing what the future has in store is kind of scary, I think, right? Is that kind of how you're feeling?
Yeah, that's exactly how I'm feeling, actually. That's a very good point, because I do feel scary. I mean, I do feel scared.
Yeah.
But then I have my family to help me.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Yeah. Well, I think you mentioned this before, but feeling scared is one side of the coin, is one way to look at it, but it's also hopefully balanced out with as equal parts excitement, right? Because when there's this big unknown, it's scary, but it's also exciting because it's full of possibility, right? You wrote this novel, you were involved in this movie, and you're, doing all sorts of things, and just imagine what else could be in store for the coming years. So I wish nothing but the best for these years, Callan. Do you think there's anything else that we should talk about, Callan, before we wrap up?
I think I nailed it.
You nailed it. 100% you nailed it, Callan. Thank you so much. I hope everyone listening gains a greater appreciation and understanding, not just of Callan, obviously, right, as a person, but of the insights and the perspectives that you shared as someone who has a disability, coming from the Down syndrome community. And I really think some of the messages that you shared about what people like you and in your community want other people to do, and want other people to see and to think about when they encounter or come across people in their life that might come from the same community as you, Callan. Hopefully people listening have a greater appreciation and understanding of what you want and what makes you feel respected.
Yes, and may I add, that give us a chance.
Give you a chance.
And give us a voice, and basically give us a dance to really come together.
Yeah.
And I really hope that we can be normal in a way that we see our families again.
Yeah, I love it, Callan. And I think just to end, I think that's why I was actually so proud of you, Callan, and happy to hear of your interest to come on and have this conversation with me, because that's you. I mean, I don't think anyone is comfortable sitting behind a microphone being recorded and stuff, right? It's not an easy situation to be in, but you express that interest to be like, hey, David, can I come on your show? Because I think you want to share your voice to more people in the world.
Exactly.
And that takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of conviction, but you want to be seen, and you want to have a voice, and you want to elevate the voice of people in your community. Right?
Exactly.
And so that's what you're doing here today. I applaud you for it, Callan. I love it. Thanks for coming here. I hope you enjoyed this chat. I loved it. But just to wrap up, as always, if any of you out there listening enjoyed the show, give us a follow, wherever podcast platform you're listening, help us spread the word. We're trying to have authentic, meaningful conversations about life in our 30s. And I think today's conversation is such a unique and special take on that, because life in our 30s looks so different to everyone, including someone like Callan that maybe a lot of you listening may not be as familiar with. So I'm really happy to elevate her voice, to share her story, share her perspectives, and actually just see that, hey, you know what? She's Callan, you're someone who has a lot of the same fears and hopes. We all want to be seen. We all want to be loved. We all want to have a voice. And I hopefully that's what we've achieved today. So thanks everyone for tuning in. You want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in.